Module 2, your credit reports. Credit reports, okay, include the following information. Okay, you will have personal information section on your credit report that contains your name, birth date, social security number, address, phone numbers, and employers. Okay, you'll have credit accounts or trade lines, public records such as bankruptcies, and recent credit inquiries. Okay, so who can legally view your credit report? So lenders and banks can, collection companies, insurance and utility companies, landlords, employers and potential employers, keyword with your consent, government agencies. Okay, so you have three main credit bureaus, okay, where you can that has your credit reports. Okay, so there's three different credit reporting bureaus. They are Equifax, Experian, TransUnion. Those are your three main ones. Okay, and each report may contain different information. Okay, so it's important to check those reports on a regular basis. Okay, so how do you obtain your reports? So you can get a free copy of your credit report each year at annualcreditreport.com. You can also get all three credit reports by using a paid credit monitoring service. One we recommend is right here, smartcredit.com/credit deputies. Okay, so when you're repairing your credit, you cannot use the free apps like Credit Karma, Credit Sesame, and so forth. Those are great for snapshots, looking at changes once items are deleted or come on, or credit report increase notifications, so forth. Okay, it just doesn't contain enough information to properly repair your credit. Okay, sure, you can do a little generic dispute letters, but to get any real results, you're going to have to go beyond Credit Karma or Credit Sesame. Okay, so once you get your credit report, what information are you looking for? So under personal information, you're going to check for inaccuracies in listed name variations and aliases. So you're going to get your credit report and you're going to see all kind of variations. Your first, last name, first, middle name, first, middle, initial, last name, some names you've never even known about, misspelled names, some aliases, and so forth. Okay, so you're going to look for inaccuracies in those. You're going to look for different social security numbers reported by creditors, past and current addresses, year of birth, past and current employers. Okay, so under account information, where you'll see the trade lines, you're going to check for inaccuracies such as closed accounts that are being reported as open, inaccurately reporting as late or delinquent. So you can look at that payment history. Okay, look for 30 days, 60 days, 90, multiple 30s, multiple 60s, multiple 90s, multiple late payments. You're going to look for that. You're going to look for inaccurate or incorrect dates of last payment or date opened. That same debt being listed multiple times. Okay, so maybe you have a situation where you have the original creditor is reporting it on your credit report showing X amount of balance, and then you have the collection agency or the debt buyer also listing it on your credit report with the same account, balance, most of the time different balances and so forth. So you're going to look for that debt being listed more than once. And you're going to look for incorrect balance amounts. Okay, so as you're auditing, reviewing your credit report, these are the things you're going to look out for. You're going to highlight them, mark them, record them in your workbooks. Okay. So then you're going to organize the information to be disputed. Okay, so you're going to start a document for each of the three reports. Okay, or three bureaus. Okay. If you purchase some of the upgrades, you will have a spreadsheet, access to a spreadsheet where you have this information. Okay. So you're going to put an entry in for each negative account. You're going to include the company name, address, any inaccuracies noted in report entry. Okay, there's a document also in your workbook, okay, or you can create your own okay, but you're going to want to record this information, okay? And then you're going to make entries for any inaccurate personal information. What do you see there that's not accurate, or what too much information? It doesn't need to be there. Why are there so many name variations? My name is, Dana Robinson. I don't need Dana, U or V or wrong letters or, misspelled names and so forth. Addresses from 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 5 years ago, whatever. Being a little exaggerated on there, but any inaccurate personal information, you're going to put that down into your documentation, okay? Because you're going to clean that up, okay? So let's talk about your legal rights. We have the Fair Credit Reporting Act, which is very important. It says you have the right to know what is in your file, your credit file. You have the right to dispute incomplete or inaccurate information. So these are your rights. You have the right to clean this up, okay? Or challenge this information that's on your report, okay? The Fair Credit Reporting Act, okay, has given you that right, okay? So consumer reporting agencies, which is another word for credit bureaus, okay, you'll see mentioning of CRA, it just means credit bureaus, okay? So they must correct or delete inaccurate, incomplete, or unverifiable information, okay? So we mentioned the three main credit bureaus. There's also other consumer reporting companies out there, okay? They are private companies that also create credit reports, okay? And you have many consumer credit reports out there where you can request this information and get copies of it, okay? So unlike the other bureaus, so you can opt out, okay, of these agencies, okay? So there's tons of consumer reporting agencies. Some of them may only report public records like bankruptcy, judgment, so forth. Some only report medical stuff. Some report information about mortgages, loans. Some report information just about checking accounts, so forth. Utilities, there may be one who just specializes in utilities. There's tons of them, okay? So there's in your resource, your guidebook, it has information on obtaining that information, and it's a good idea to request copies of your reports. It's free, it's out there. You probably should want to know what information is being bought and sold about you, okay? And also they supply information to credit bureaus, so it's a good idea to opt out, suppress your information, so it makes it a little bit harder for credit bureaus to verify your information, okay? So like I mentioned, it's in your resource, your guidebook, for more information about other consumer reporting companies. So a little bit more about consumer companies. As I mentioned earlier, they're also referred to as data miners, independent credit reporting companies, whatever you want to call them. Request copies of those reports, okay? You may not want to request them from every one in the guidebook, but you're going to want to request it from at least the main ones, okay? There's about 4 or 5 main ones. Focus on those, okay? And then as you look through the actual report of other ones, the full list, if you say, hey, I want to see what, maybe you have some checks that are, some collection accounts for bad checks or something like that. Maybe you do need to request copies from check systems, your credit report, so forth, okay? And it's just a good idea to see what's out there. So you're going to review these reports for inaccuracies. You're going to prepare dispute folders just as you did for the other main credit bureaus. And you're going to dispute with them just like you would the other credit bureaus, okay? So how do you protect yourself from these data miners, okay? So like I said, they sell your information to lenders and insurance companies, okay? This is how they retrieve information and give you quotes online for insurance, because this information is bought and sold. How do you think they get the information, okay? So you have the right to opt out and freeze your reports. Here's information. It goes a little bit further than this. This is just one of the opt-out. This is just opt-out. this opt-out pre-screen. This has nothing to do with freezing, but this is just one company. It's a good idea to freeze or opt out with the other data miners or other reporting companies as well. Okay. So you're going to plan on a 4 to 6 month process. Okay, sure. In 35, 45 days, maybe you have a lot of items deleted on the first round. Great. Time to celebrate. But in reality, it can take you a lot longer. In reality, you may not be able to remove all negative items from your report. Okay, it's just reality. Okay, you have to be persistent. You have to do the best you can. You have to use the laws as evidence and provide evidence when you're disputing, but you also need to know the right way of doing it. But it can be a process, okay? And you will have to do other things besides just removing negative information from your credit report. Okay, so it's more than just removing negative information. Okay, so during that time period, you're going to identify credit report info to dispute, write dispute letters to all 3 bureaus, review bureau responses to disputes, send method of verification requests, send collector debt validation letters if it applies, send 609 letters to credit bureaus if it applies, and file an official complaint with the CFPB or BBB, which is the Better Business Bureau, or your state attorney general office. Okay? So here's some homework, your tasks. You're going to complete the following steps. So request a credit report from each of the 3 bureaus from the reporting agencies, as I mentioned earlier. Okay? So you're going to get your credit reports, order those. You're going to suppress, opt out of data mining reports, and freeze. So you can freeze and suppress your information. You're going to do that with the data miners, not the credit bureaus. You're going to do that with the data miners. Okay, so you can either do it online, and it's a 2-step process. So you're freezing and then you're suppressing, which is opting out. Okay, so freeze, suppress, and then you're also going to request your credit report. Okay, you can do it online, you can call them, or you can do it in the mail by sending them a letter and requesting it. You're going to review each report, organize the info to be disputed. You're going to complete the credit report review checklist in your workbook. Okay? So what's the next steps? So follow me in module 3, where we're going to start your disputes. Okay? So we're going to explore in that module how to write and mail your initial dispute letters, interpret the bureau responses to your disputes, and write method of verification letters.